While the vehicle teams use alien ships to push against the familiar and stretch the boundaries of what we know about the universe of Star Citizen, the mocap and gameplay story animation teams work to bring as much recognizable truth and authenticity of motion as they can to the smaller story elements that permeate throughout the Squadron 42 campaign experience.
The reason I got into motion capture is I wanted to tell believable stories. There's something I find quite fascinating about tricking people's emotions with, just the visual medium of whatever's on the screen, and motion capture plays a rather large part in that. Sometimes you can be looking at a head cam and just see like a particular moment for just half a second and know that that's going to be used, and the director can see it as well. It's those exciting moments on set and being able to see scenes be birthed from the stage itself that is why I got into motion capture.
What's interesting about gameplay story and seeing that in the game is an unintrusive way of delivering you small story elements or just bringing more life into the world as you walk around it.
Gameplay story is lots of smaller scenes, not full-blown cutscenes, but also not pure gameplay either.
So that could be walking into a bathroom and overhearing a conversation. The user isn't necessarily triggering per se, or they can do small things to trigger, but at the same time they're happening in the universe as a living, breathing thing.
You and Yuri don't have to give us such a hard time.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was that someone else I heard moaning about having to recall all the diags last shift?
Yeah, okay. I haven't been the best either, but complaining's one thing. We used to complain about Nolan all the time too. I don't know, I think she could do a good job if we helped.
So I think the reason why motion capture's such a huge benefit for the game, for Squadron 42 and Star Citizen, is because we're able to shoot in a very short amount of time a huge range of animations. And I think if you look at our database at the moment, we have something like 38,000 animations for this game. And that it's only because we're able to use motion capture to capture data very quickly and deliver that data to the teams very quickly.
So I think a common misconception with motion capture is that we capture all of this data and then it just seamlessly works with the engine. That definitely isn't the case.
After the mocap shoot's finished, I first need to use a wonderful tool the mocap team have written to actually make my selections, which is to choose which takes I actually want and which parts of those takes I want, when they're going to be recalled, and so on and so forth.
This data isn't always necessarily super clean as well, so it's the job of the mocap team to be able to track and retarget that data in order to then deliver it to the animators, who can then do a final pass and get it into game.
So doing pickup shoots is quite a natural part of the process, really. A lot of the original content that we got for gameplay story was captured some time ago, and the game has progressed a lot since then, and we just didn't always have answers to questions way back when the stuff was shot.
For example, the other day we were doing pickups for a character who had to usher the player into a vent, and the original data for all of this kind of left that NPC bystanding, not doing a lot, whereas with the pickups that we've done now, she actually has a lot more life, and she actually beckons the player to go in multiple times if the player doesn't decide to do so. It's small things like that that create that believability in the world. It's extremely rewarding to see the finished product after you've done a shoot and it goes into game.
Put a lot of hard work into getting all of the scenes, nearly 250 scenes that have been shot. I don't want to make comparisons to other games, but yeah, I definitely think what we're doing goes far and above what's been done in other games, really, in terms of the immersion, the fact that somebody can be busy doing something and you can go up to them, you can have a conversation, you can break away from that conversation mid-flow, and all the animations match. The people aren't rambling, talking to themselves. The whole scene is believable at the start, the beginning, and the end.
You and Yuri don't have to give us such a hard time.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was that someone else I heard moaning about having to recall all the diags last shift?
Yeah, okay. I haven't been the best either, but complaining's one thing. We used to complain about Nolan all the time too. I don't know, I think she could do a good job if we helped.
Some people aren't cut out for command. Sink or swim, right?
Sure, but do you have to be the one who drowns her?
Point taken. I'll try.
Thanks. You ever think it's weird how much we still use all these water analogies in the Navy?
All the time. Hey, look who it is.
So what did we learn about this week? Well, we learned that the Talon brings more avian flair to the ever-developing alien Tavaran culture, that the work of motion capture isn't simply done when you just take off the suit, and that the Squadron 42 gameplay story team may work on the smaller elements, but they do add richness and texture to the larger campaign adventure. For Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckabee. We'll see you next week.